Yo, and we back. If you are tuning in, this is Musing Around, and we're about to get back at it. It's your boy Jay. Let's go.
I'm just Thomas.
And I'm Ashley Booker.
Let's go. All right, so what we want to talk about now?
I don't know. I mean, I guess, I guess where we kind of like ended off with was like with the Jordan thing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I guess sometimes like in life, I guess we can kind of touch on, maybe let's talk to some, listeners about like how important mindset and determination sometimes can be in this world. Like as far as even overcoming things, even, it's traumatic, events that happen. It could be prison. It could be a death in the family. It could be whatever, but it takes a certain mental fortitude, I feel, to be able to overcome that.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that, I guess kind of going along with the whole Jordan thing and kind of like pushing it forward, I think in just the normal world, not just being like a competitive, one of the top tier athletes on the whole planet Earth.
I'm a competitive.
Yeah, but still, I still feel like you still need the same competitive juice.
Okay.
To be able to be successful in anything.
I think his competitiveness made him that success.
I agree.
Absolutely. I mean, because if it was just off of pure talent, I mean, LeBron James is a specimen.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, because we talking about people that got talent, right?
Yeah.
Who's doing something. Let me ask you this. This might be getting to a deeper subject, so I apologize. But do you think that when it comes to life, if you work hard enough, that you can make anything happen? Or do you feel like through circumstances, prison, whatever the case may be, it could be a myriad of different things that can affect a person in their life. Do you feel like those are actual real things that can keep you from reaching success?
You want to start with this?
Let me say my piece real quick because I know both of y'all have some views on this. But my thing is, I'll have some views too. But I'll probably be playing. Hey, break up, whistle. But
we're good.
Yeah. I think it depends. It depends on the person for real. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You can be in prison in your mind and not be in actual physical prison.
Facts.
You know
That
what I'm
is a
saying?
big fact.
That's
That's
facts.
Yeah.
And prison is just one of the aspects. Clear to everybody out there.
Yeah.
It ain't
I mean,
like
you could be
main.
going through depression. You could be going through something where, like this whole year of my life was just not wasted, but maybe wasted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I agree.
You didn't perform to 100% like you were expecting to, or like you usually do, and you know what I'm saying? That could set you back right there.
Yeah.
But it's all it's all about life's about failures. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how you overcome those failures and how you learn from that. And, Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is how I feel straight up and down. I feel like some people are built for like, I'm going to use entrepreneurship as an example, right? Like, because there's people that feel like, and I'm going to answer the question, but there's people that feel like the entrepreneurship is easy. You know what I'm saying? Anyone could do it. But I'm real with you, anyone can't do entrepreneurship. This is me talking to everybody out there. I think that if you want to get into it, you want to do it, you got to have a mindset and you got to be prepared for the work that's involved in trying to do it, right? Because it takes consistency. So by that nature, is everyone going to be successful at it if they just come in and they work hard enough? Nah, because you got to have that fortitude to go through everything. Because you might be able to work hard for like 5 days, right? But if you can't work hard for like 3 years, you know what I'm saying, and figure it out, then you may not be cut out for it. So I think I don't believe in the idea that if you pull yourself up by the bootstraps, it'll all work out. I just think I think that works for some people, and I think for some people, like depending on like what position you come in life at, right? It's not that you can't get out that position, but you got a harder challenge, right? To try to make something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I think like depending on your background, obviously I can use prison as an easy example. Like if you come out of prison, you may not get the opportunity thrown at you, even though like you may feel like in your mind I'm reformed in the sense of I'm throwing away my old lifestyle and I'm trying to get at something new. You know what I'm saying? To help me push forward. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm trying to go. You know what I'm saying? But if no one gives you that chance, that can be devastating. You know what I'm saying? Of you trying to push yourself out of a lifestyle, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's correct.
So that's just my 2 cents.
I would say I agree, but I disagree.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, and this is where I disagree. I just feel like at a certain point, if we look at life like a game. And I mean, I know, look, it's serious. It's a serious game, but it's a game. And because I feel like everything is a practice of like how to play it. Because you can play life a certain way and net certain results. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Is that a fair? Is that fair? I want to make sure I'm being fair.
Listen, Ash building these points. He connecting these dots. He's starting level 1. That fair?
Yo, I just want to make sure I'm being fair. I don't want to be unfair.
Ash, you sure you ain't got that law degree?
Man, hey, listen, guys. I don't want to be unfair, but I do realize that. I guess in this world, we all have like different obstacles. Okay, I mean, just because let's say one set of things is stacked against one individual, that's not to say that certain other things may not be stacked against another individual. And then who are we to say how it affects a person? Because I think you have to literally be inside a person's psyche to know how they really feel towards certain things, because it could be something that it would tear you to shreds. Yeah. But then it could happen to me and it does nothing. Does that make sense? Or vice versa? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Or it could be something to where it's like, okay, well, yeah, in this scenario, this is a terrible thing to happen to anybody, and this hurts us all if it would happen to anybody. But it's going to affect us all differently. It's going to net a different output. Yeah. Does that make sense?
And that doesn't make you better than the next
Correct. Person. It doesn't really. It doesn't really put us in that. So I just want to just speak to the fact that okay, now with that being stated, I just want to say that now we're here. I feel like it's like we can't really assume what another person's plight is. Like another person can't assume what our plights are. And honestly, yes, there are people who have things set a different way, and there are other people who have things set another way. But I think life is still a perspective, because it's like if you can go places where, I mean, we're living in the modern Babylon, to where like even poor people here are fat. So it's like you go places where they have nothing, and you still see kids playing and having fun. Do you know what I mean? I'm just trying to say is that, so it's about perspective. It's not really always about like really, because us looking at them like, oh my God, like how could they ever? You know
Poor kids have no shoes.
They have no chance, right? There's no chance. But then maybe one of those guys like comes out to become like some whatever, and I mean, because it happens. I mean, you see it with some of the people who have became super wealthy. They literally came from nothing. Yeah. And the people who were born into it. I mean, you have both sides of that. You know what I mean?
I just don't think it's most. I think most people in that category are probably not coming from nothing, right? I think a lot of and this is not me like digging. Like if you are blessed enough to be able to have generational wealth and carry that on, look, I'm happy for you. I think that's a beautiful thing. So don't get it twisted. But I think a lot of people in that category, 1%, if you will, are not there because they just made it from nothing. I think a lot of them are there because they got generational wealth and they're carrying it on again, which is a beautiful thing. But let me step back.
What about the power of zero?
You said the power of zero. What do you mean? Explain to me.
There is a power in having nothing, because you have nothing to lose. You see, when you are a trust fund kid or a child, you are always operating in a space where there's always something to lose, and there's always something to fuck up, and you're always being judged at a certain level and at a certain. I mean, even for the people who came before you. Yeah. Let's just say, even if it's your father's like this.
Are you talking about Jaden Smith here?
Well, I'm just trying to say that. Well, all I'm saying is that
Will Smith.
I can tell you what. Just look at it. Look at Bronny James. Look at we'll go here. These guys, it look like their life easy, but it's very hard because they're being judged to something very different. And just like, so if your father was very great, and so you're held, you grow up and you have a nice home and you have beautiful cars and shit. You don't have to worry about money, but it's a different kind of worry that you got to have, right?
Yeah.
It's a different set of circumstances that you probably got to deal with.
Yeah. But it's just,
is that fair?
That's fair.
And then there's a power in zero, because when you have zero, guess what? You have nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Oh, yeah.
Which can totally build an animal. It can build somebody who's out for blood in business. It really can.
I'm with you with that, right? Okay. Your experiences can shape you, right?
Absolutely.
I can't sit here and argue either way which experience is going to shape you into a better person at the end of the day, because there's probably plenty of examples of people who made it.
Both sides.
Both sides of the road, right? But how about we take this to an example, right? Because like, how about we use the example as the backdrop to discuss this, right? Because I think we could talk with words a bunch, but if we use an example, then we can cut to the meat in a simple form of how we feel. You know what I mean?
Let's get to the meat.
Let's get to it. Let's get to the core.
I mean, obviously, none of us been to prison, so I'm just throwing that out there. But I'm saying that to say,
Ash, you done time? We ain't
no time. I just spent a few days for some wars, but
I did 24 hours. And
I've
had to sleep there for a few days.
I just had to sober up.
I did my bit already.
What you mean, bro?
Yeah, no time.
But I'm saying this to say this, man. And then that's a pretty easy example to use. I'm gonna use the example because I just think it's easy. So if people out there, if you're in an unfortunate situation, we're not necessarily trying to speak to you one to one. We're just using this as an example because it's easy for everyone to understand. So I'm gonna use this. Like if you got this guy that just got out of prison, right? You know what I mean? And he goes when he gets out. Do you think he has the equal amount of chance to try to get at his dreams to somebody else?
If you're asking me, yes.
So I would say, look, I'm kind of splitting the line here.
Okay.
I would say yes, but his actions put him in this predicament to have lesser amount of opportunity. Yeah.
So I would say, this is Jay speaking. I would say simply put, I do think a person that's getting out of prison in this example, and if they're and then in this example, they're coming out with a thought, and I think well, I didn't say this, but they're coming out with the thought with, hey, look, I'm trying to get at my dreams and I'm trying to take a different path, right? I think someone in that scenario, they are not at the advantage, and I think they're at the extreme disadvantage of being pushed back into the same scenario that got them there in the first place. Unfortunately. And I don't think that's right. I think as society, we got to figure out a way. And again, I'm using this as an example, right? But as society, we got to figure out a way in this particular case to get people back into the right path, right? Because if you got no outs, if you're back against the wall and you trying to figure it out, you know what I'm saying? And you can't figure it out because no one's giving you that chance. You know what I mean? Like you only got so many chances before you might just try to press the easy button.
Well, I do have I think I have a solution. I feel like there needs to be, I feel like maybe some kind of reform on obviously prisons and all that and different crimes. But I think there also needs to be like something done with the whole probation or the whole like carrying a felony type thing for X amount of time. I think eventually it should be a sponge. If you don't get in a certain amount of trouble, it should be a sponge from your record and you start fresh. Because I feel like that's the thing is that what makes it harder for them is that they're carrying a felony. Yeah. So therefore, like the minute they get in any little bit of mix up, then they're going back. I mean, they can blow their nose wrong and they're going back to prison. You know what I mean? And I don't think that to me isn't fair, but I feel like maybe after, let's just say you are on probation after you get out of prison, and this is a happy medium meeting the system in the middle. Yeah. Maybe after you do your probationary period, you do well, you get off of papers, your felony's a sponge.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, because at that point, maybe then now we're talking about, okay, now you really do have, you had to do a few years out here with that, like following you, but then now you have a clean slate.
Yeah.
What the system is set up to that.
I mean, you were good for X amount of years.
You feel me?
Right.
Hold on, Thomas is saying something.
The system's set up to where they're gonna just keep.
Yeah.
Well, of course, that's why they want to get a felony on you.
Yeah.
I'm being 100% because that's really the trap. Because that's why they have like I feel like that's why the marijuana laws have been like that. I feel like just for petty ass crimes, man, they were putting felonies on people. Like that's why gun laws are the way they are. Because the minute all you gotta do is just not have a strong understanding of the law and like what is really going on, and you can be out here just hanging out and doing shit, and you catch a felony, and then boom, you don't have to even be one of those guys. You don't have to be one of them people out here making all the noise out here. You could be just literally a person who is out here, just hanging and maybe not know the law the way you should know it, and boom, catch a felony, and then now that's hanging on you.
Yeah.
And so that, I think maybe that is something that needs to be maybe reformed, as far as giving people another opportunity. potentially to get back out into the world without that following.
So those folks shouldn't have that on their record. That
No,
should be-
I feel like
know what I'm
this. Listen, if you break the law, you break the law.
Yeah.
Okay, like I'm trying to meet the system in the middle. You break the law, you break the law. But what I'm saying is that it shouldn't be a complete like thing to just hang on you for the rest of your life either. I think a person can make a bad decision, pay the cost, get in trouble, do whatever the fuck it is, do the retribution, go through the processes.
Yeah.
They do all that, take it off their record.
Yeah, I agree with that because here's the thing: you're serving time.
Absolutely.
Right? So if you did something that was out of play, right, and you can argue all day, well, the law
what's in play,
the
not
law,
in play,
yeah, or the law shouldn't be there, or the law should be changed. I mean, we can go all day with that. So I'm not necessarily
we're trying to keep it broad.
in disagreement with anything or agreement. But the point is that you served your time, right? So at that point, everything's accounted for. So you should be able to go back out there with a clean slate.
I agree.
Come back out as a citizen.
Yeah, as a citizen, and with the right to vote. Because here's the thing, man: what's the point of serving the time if you're still being punished for something that you did, right? Because you gotta understand, like some people, not all, like I'm sure there's certain things like murder and stuff like that you like. Look, man, I don't know if you can walk back from that, and I'm not gonna necessarily use this platform to discuss that per se, but there's some people that go away, right, at a young age, right? And you got to think
correct.
when they come back, you know what I'm saying? They are older, right? They're in a different mindset. They're in a different place in their life where they're trying to get at and try to accomplish something that maybe they didn't really see when they were younger, right? Because they were just trying to go out there and do stuff or just live life, so to speak. So I think to allow someone that opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to get ahead, I think that's essential. Because if you essentially cut them at the knees and take that away, then like you're providing these bumper guards that slowly pushes them back into a certain lifestyle. You know what I mean?
That is correct, but I do also believe that at a certain point, I do agree because it does get to a point of providing, and it, as sad as it sounds, but sometimes when some people know how to make money a certain way, know how to make money a certain way.
Yeah, yeah.
And that ain't no knock to that, because honestly, I can't look at it as a knock. But I will look at it as like this, is that if you know what it already netted you, and you already know what kind of trouble you've already had to be in for it, there are more ways out here to make money. I mean, we live in just a different age and different time right now where I feel like a person can be entrepreneurial and it doesn't really take that much effort. All you just have a smartphone and have a will, ambition to want to learn. And to do research and to show up every day and to just, okay, cool. Get all, like how we talked, I think we talked on the podcast before about the no's. Get all those no's out the way quick. Let's just go get them done.
Okay.
Just get out here. Let's just hit our face. Eventually you're going to stop hitting your face.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you say, if you know how to make money, you know how to make money.
If
you know how to make money this way, you know how to make money this way.
Replace it with something that you can do.
Exactly.
You know what
But
I mean?
I would say this though. Not everybody, no matter how they got into an unfortunate situation. Again, in our example, you're talking about jail, right? Prison. Sorry. Not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur. That's just how I honestly feel. Like there's some people that's not meant. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's why you got caught. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying you're an entrepreneur because you're doing things that's illegal. What I am saying is, again, not everyone's meant to be an entrepreneur. Someone may come out of prison, right? Quote unquote reformed, and they may be the greatest employee that you're gonna hire for your company, right? You know what I'm saying? And how will you know that if you don't give someone a chance, right, to figure that out, right? And they may even if someone doesn't give them a chance, right? They're not set up, and they're not the person that's going to be that entrepreneur to be that successful, right? Or just be like somewhat successful, right? Because I'm gonna be real with you, bro. Everybody ain't built for this, bro.
Okay, well, and like I said, it goes back to what I was just saying. There's a QT up here. I will sit outside there all night tonight and ask somebody to let me borrow their car. Now, are they going to let me borrow their car instantly? No. Like, and the thing is that there might be people who have a little bit of hesitation in dealing with maybe a previous felon, or depending on what kind of felon you are, if it was violent or if it had to do with theft or anything like that. So, like, just looking at it as an entrepreneur, I mean, I understand how some entrepreneurs might have a little angst at dealing with that. But that's not to say that every entrepreneur will.
Yeah, I mean
they'll find their match. Does that make sense?
That
like,
makes
you'll
sense.
find but that's still the same drive you're gonna have to be successful.
I mean, that makes sense, but here's the thing.
In anything in life.
And this is reality. So I'm not speaking to what we can change, but I'm being real with you. Not everybody's going to be able to survive that time frame of pushing through that much. Like, you got to understand, man, the mental aspect of things, right? And I think we all know this, is very delicate, right? So you coming out of a system that's quote unquote was supposed to reform you, right? Mm-hmm. You come out of that, and there's a bunch of jacked up stuff about that. We're not going to even go in there because this is just an example. You come out of that, right, and you're in a place, you're back in society, and now all of a sudden you're trying to put use to some of the skills maybe you've learned within the time you serving your time, or maybe you came out and just tried to re-educate yourself to put yourself in a better position, right? But when you go to get that job, they're not going to hire you. I'm be real with you. If someone came out and they go and try to get an IT, right, they probably not going to get hired by really no one because of their background. Because they're not going to pass the background check, right? And to me, what I'm saying is that's not right. You know what I'm saying? Because like I think we got to figure out the balance to it all. You know what I'm saying? I get maybe some people maybe be like hesitant, like, hey man, you went to prison for grand larceny. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if I can trust you. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if that's like 40 years, 30 or 20 years ago, they went for grand larceny, you know what I'm saying, at 18, 20 years past, right? At some point, you got to give someone a new start. A chance for them to prove of who they are now, not necessarily who they was before.
I want to believe that anybody can be an entrepreneur, though, because there's levels.
Yeah.
But listen, there's levels to it. There's the
self-employed,
to where you have a trade, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. No,
and you
absolutely.
handle what you can handle. Mm-hmm. And then there's building the business. There's growing the business.
Absolutely.
If you're cool with, doing this, being a painter, getting these gigs.
Dude, that is perfect.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
And you don't necessarily have to have people working for you and whatnot.
You can be out here, be independent contractor.
That's entrepreneurship.
Yeah, but here's my thing. And this is why I would counter to that, though. Even with that, right, you still got to have a little bit of know-how and a little comfortability with handling your taxes or all the stuff in between, right?
QuickBooks.
And I'm not saying that stuff is easy. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying you can't make a mistake and get it wrong. What I'm saying is, I guess I am saying is, it's still not super, super straightforward, right?
But neither is a ladder, too. You know what I'm saying?
No, it is. Well,
neither is like getting
a job.
You still got to work hard.
But it's on rails though. I'll be real with you. Like, if you get a job, you don't got to worry about what you claiming and what you not claiming. You just working a job.
There's people who got jobs get audited too.
Yeah.
Potentially
PPP loans.
Yeah. PPP.
Yo, shout out those.
Get audited. A lot of people got audited real quick recently.
You're not getting a PPP loan. You shouldn't be getting a PPP loan if you're working for somebody.
If they go get one of them. Hey, become an entrepreneur.
That is the way there.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, man. Do not jump in line.
We are not financial advisors.
We are not.
Clearly, I'm not.
Do the disclaimer real quick.
Yeah, we are not financial advisors. Do not jump yourself in a situation you cannot necessarily get yourself out of. But I will say this. I guess what I'm trying to indicate is this. Being an entrepreneur is a unique skill set, right? Just like being, trying to go and be a doctor, you got to develop a certain unique skill set, right?
That's correct.
And not everybody's built for that skill set, right? If you get queasy with blood, maybe you can't be a doctor. Maybe you could be a foot doctor, but you probably can't do surgery, right? So my point is, you got to understand your own limitations of who you are, and you got to lean into the things that you're good at, right? And I'm not saying, it may sound like, oh, you a simp, or you a simple person. I should say simp. You a simple person.
Ain't nothing wrong with saying that.
Nah, it's not wrong. You a simple person because you want to work for somebody else, and someone will tell you,
we ain't saying that.
No,
wrong with that.
No, but some people out there would tell you, if you want to work for somebody else, then you must not be the right person. But here's the thing, though, man. You need people to work for people. I'll be real with you. If I don't have people to work for me, how in the world am I going to build a business?
And can I also speak to that in that whole philosophy?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Even as an entrepreneur, you work for somebody.
Yeah.
Facts.
Like you have clients, you work for them. Okay, so I don't give a fuck what you can be. Jeff Bezos. He still works for the people who fucking deal with fucking Amazon. All right, like
Jeff Bezos
or a board or something. I'm telling you, like there is a hierarchy that never stops in this world. So people always want to say, "Oh man, I don't want to have no boss."
Yeah.
In what reality?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to answer to somebody, right?
No, that's
Hell,
true.
if you're an entrepreneur, you're answering to your clients.
That's true.
Is that correct?
No, I agree with that.
Or a board.
I
Like
agree with that.
especially if you get like some funding, or your VC
Shareholders.
capitalist like firm that like bought half of your company.
Yeah.
You're answering to them about your profits.
Yeah, no, shareholders.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess my point is to touch on what Thomas said, because Thomas said like anyone can do it. My point is I think people should focus on what they have interest in, right? Take time to figure that out and then lean into that.
Yeah.
If that interest requires you to work for somebody, then do it.
Absolutely.
If that interest requires you to create something on your own because you can't do it working for somebody else, then do that.
Do that.
You know what I'm saying? Like entrepreneurship is really not something, no one wakes up and say, I want to be an entrepreneur.
Nah, hell
In reality, you wake up and say, you know what? I want to build a house that looks like a triangle. And you realize that you got to do it on your own to make it happen. I know that's a silly example, but that's the point.
I like it though.
Entrepreneurship is literally just the means, right, to get whatever you're trying to do out your head and into this real world, and into this thing we call the real world. So,
Okay.
you know, I'm off the soapbox.
And also I want to just talk about like since we are on entrepreneurship, you know what entrepreneurship is? Help, service of others.
Yeah.
Man, look, just pay attention to the world. Like if anybody doesn't have any money, I'm sorry, out there listening,
Yeah.
if there's no money and you're trying to figure out like how, just pay attention to people around you. What do they need? Do they need help with this? That's why I always say trades are always amazing, because like when you have a trade, you always have ability to make money. I mean, my father always told me that. He said, if you have a trade, you see in corporate America and a lot of places like that, you can make great money, great salaries, all this stuff, but somebody can just deplete your department and then now you're looking for another gig.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the thing is that when you have a trade, can't nobody ever take away your money making ability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because people always need a service. And the way I always look at entrepreneurship is service. So really, whether you are like what Thomas was saying, whether you are a plumber or a contractor or whatever, or if you start, you know, like let's say I'm a music producer or whatever, you know, whatever our path may be, I still have to provide a service for another person.
Do you think trades don't get the shine they need?
I think, oh my God,
You know?
and they make great money.
Oh man, they do make.
I mean, they make great money, and I tell people, like I always talk about, like some of my buddies who do so well doing this, to where I was like, literally, I remember when I came home from college, I was like, what the fuck did I go to college for?
Yeah,
I'm out here goddamn waiting tables. My partner's making like 6 figures and shit, and we were the same age.
Yeah.
Hold on,
because they had a
pause.
trade.
Pause. Thomas, how much do plumbers make?
Oh man, 6 figures easy. And then most of them starting out, if they are working for a company, in like 5 to 6, 7 years, they're gonna have their own company.
See, this is
You
what
know
I'm
what
talking
saying?
about, bro.
Like it's very lucrative.
Man, I
And
wish.
you just gotta touch a little doo doo every once in a while. You got
Man, listen, man.
there's gloves.
I'm gonna tell you what.
You got,
Dookie, baby.
you got hand
Hey, it
sanitizer.
washes off.
Wash yourself.
Man, I just
Damn.
changed.
Wash your
I just
hands after you
changed
go.
my cat litter box today. I almost threw up.
And I'm going to tell you something. I'm talking to everybody out there who's talking to or dating someone. Listen, man, I'm gonna challenge each and every one of you, man. If you waiting for someone to have a very high profile job that is high profile through the name and the normal imagery of it, right? You know what I'm saying? You like, you know what? Success is you own your own business and you're the big boss, right? And reality is success don't necessarily look like that one-to-one. You know what I'm saying? So if you trying to chase people who have positions or have companies and they fit the easy button of success, man, you missing out.
Yeah, you're missing out on life.
It's all about what you said earlier. It's perception of what you
Man,
think
talk
you
about
view
being
success as.
man, talk about being an entrepreneur. Man, let's get out here and really talk about it. Like, let's talk about some of these guys and how long it really takes.
Yeah.
Like to honestly get to that point. Like, that's why those girls be on some like 55-year-old man boat. Shit. Because at the end of the day, it take a long time to have that boat. You hear me? Like,
But if you happy without the boat and your kids dancing around with no shoes on and we living in the hut or whatever, but we living good, we
listen,
living,
man,
and we
that's
having a great
happiness,
time.
man. It's about,
that's
man,
what
are you
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but listen, I ain't living in no hood.
No, I ain't either, but I need a little more space.
Here we go.
I got allergies. I can't be around all this dust. You know what I'm saying?
Baby, I'm gonna make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? Get to this money.
But I will say this, like, I think that people overlook it because of this age we live in. We live in this age of this phone, the phone that I'm on right now. Instagram, all that shit. And I'm going to tell you what, it is like a highlight reel. So everybody thinks that, oh, just being a baller and being this and this, like some easy ass shit, right? Or like some of these guys, they talk about like a ball player. They talk about some motherfucking like little baby. Some of these motherfuckers is like fucking 0.0000000 something of the population.
You on to something right now. That's a whole nother podcast.
I'm sorry, guys. I'll stop.
We gotta talk about that.
We will talk about that, but
it's just, to me, it's just, I think they just honestly, they just aren't being, I guess, realistic. They're being delusional. Because the real reality is most people do not earn that much money. And that's just the facts. Now, I mean, is it? I mean, let's just talk about it. Let's talk about the percentages.
Oh, no. We're not going to talk about it because we got to end this one. But it's good. That's good. I feel like we should talk about the next time. We should talk about how technology plays in relationships and plays in money.
Particularly social media.
Social media.
Oh my God. It's been the demise of relationships and women and men, and everybody's just tripping. Everybody's just so unhappy right now. And there's no reason to be unhappy, guys. Unhappiness is a choice.
I will say this to everybody out there watching, right? Make sure you go and follow us on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you follow us on Spotify. Go and listen to the episodes. You can pick your medium. We got video. We got everything at this point. We're trying to make sure ourselves accessible, right? But at the same time, if you're on YouTube, you're only watching 30 minutes of this, right? So if you find this is interesting, if you find like, I wonder what they talking about next, you're going to have to watch or really listen to the podcast. So I want you to go out there, subscribe on all of the platforms. Find us on Instagram, Musing Around podcast.
What's your Instagram, man? Come on, tell the people.
Mr_J Muse.
Okay.
Thomas.
Shoot, you about to ask hard questions now.
Oh, that's a hard question. Hey, by the way, hey, ladies, that's the kind of man you want anyway. Man, he's so busy, he don't even got time for that shit. You hear me?
Let me check my
Man, my handle. What the hell is that?
See, I felt like I got set up for the okie doke because Thomas won.
So mine is Thomas_Byron.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And then I am Ashley Booker, which is ASHLEYBOOKER on all platforms. Be on the lookout. Hit me up.
Yeah.
I always will hit you back.
Mine's gonna be different next week because mine's not as fresh as these dudes right here.
Oh man, listen. I got a lot of hats I wear.
Something.
I got a lot of hats I wear. So it's that. But we appreciate
just your name.
That's my name.
That's all I got.
My mama did that to me. My mama did that.
That's all I got.
your government name?
Your government?
You might have to put your social security on there, Playboy. But look you up right now. Where you live at, Playboy? Got your face. I know I can verify you.
Nah, that's good.
But listen, we appreciate everyone out there tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, yo. Shout out, yo. Peace.
Yo, we out.
Yo.